Hey guys, welcome back. This is Storm, and this is episode 113 of my single-player Tiveden world. Hope you guys are going awesomely well. So you can tell any difference around here? I've made a small, subtle change to this balcony area. Before I used to have an opening just here. Just every now and then I'll work on my little details around the place, things that you guys will never notice unless I pointed them out probably. But I think this balcony looked a little bit nicer this way. And I've also been working on the pathway around here. You can see I've put in some dark oak fences and some shrubbery on the sides. And it just adds a little bit more detail. Don't know how you escaped, buddy. And I've also worked on this pathway that comes down towards this building with our lumberjack in it, our vindicator. Every now and then I hope he comes out and does some woodworking for me. Looks like he's still angry at me for some reason. So I'll let him be. So I'm going to fly over to an area over this way. This is where I basically plant myself a forest. This was a whole vacant area here. This was an open plains area when I first generated the world, and I planted trees around here. This is where I do all my wood collection and harvesting, etc. And that's pretty much why I made that opening sequence, is to come back and just reflect on what did the world look like before you start to make a whole lot of changes to it. And yeah, I like to do that. I haven't made a huge amount of progress probably compared to some people, but I'm pretty happy with the changes I've been making, and it's good to go back and look at what did your world look like before you started to make changes to it. Anyway, so over here, a few things I've been working on, adding just some small details. Even though this is really all temporary, I do chop all these trees down and I keep replanting them. This is where I got all my wood. But I have added some details, like a fallen down tree over here. This wasn't here before. And I've also cleaned up these kind of areas. So rather than just having a central collection point in this particular area here for all my wood, I've created my little piles here of all the different wood types. I've got my dark oak pile here, got my acacia wood pile, just to give me a reason really to visit different parts of my world. And I like to do that more and more actually. I like to have things spread out a little bit, so it just forces you to go and travel around and to view different things. And I think that just, makes you have to live in your world a little bit more than just by having everything put into one central storage location. I do have my main storage hubs, but I like to have little outposts as well. And this area over here, I've added a little more detail. There's a fallen tree I've added just here. And I've added this half kind of tree, kind of like it's an infancy kind of growing stage. Don't know if I like it, but this is where I've been keeping my oak wood. And I do have a one of these light sources underneath here. This is just one of these redstone lamps so it lights up these chest areas at night time. I think it looks pretty cool. And this area here, this is where I just used to have a bed and just the chest. This is just all temporary storage stuff. But I made it into a little shack kind of thing. Make it look a little bit more lived in. And of course, we've got our birch wood pile over here as well. I don't have all the wood types over here. I do have some jungle trees that I grow into here, but I don't really do a whole lot of harvesting for jungle wood, so I don't really have a big collection area for that right now. But other things I've been working on. This is let's come over this way. I've been in the last couple of weeks, I've been trying to get myself a charged creeper. This is pretty much my only open area right now, and I've had no luck. I've been trying to get myself one. I've almost got myself struck by lightning once, but yeah, never got any charged creepers in sight, unfortunately. But hopefully one day I'll find one. And yeah, you can kind of see my forest here is kind of growing out into this plains area as well. I've planted all these trees. I think it looks good. I think it adds more detail when you just start to expand things and grow things and change things over time. I don't like leaving things exactly the same. I like to add small changes, so that's kind of what this area is. And what I'm thinking of doing now actually is making some kind of pathway, maybe not along this track, but I want to have some kind of pathway, particularly along here. So this is an area that leads towards our two main towers we've built over in this direction. Got this forest here that I have been expanding as well, just planting different tree types, just trying to add a bit of variety around here. This is all barren. This is all very old terrain, so when you put in some details, it starts to come a bit more alive. Rather than just how it was in its original state. And you can kind of see in the shadows there, this is where we've got our towers that I've been working on. And I want to keep working on these in this episode as well. But yeah, I want to work on some kind of pathway. So I'm going to get some materials and then maybe we'll think about a path design. You know, something that I've thought of is that this area here, you guys seem to like this kind of design. using the netherrack and the dirt and creating this kind of path kind of look like this. And I'm certainly not going to do that in the overworld, but perhaps what we could do is use wheat crops. I know that's something that a lot of people have done, is just plant huge crops of wheat and you create some paths within it or something like that. And yeah, I've never done that in my world, so why don't we give that a go? So I thought to get some seeds, because we're going to need a lot of it, why don't we come over here, because hey, we always need an excuse to come over to the flower farm here and make sure this guy's doing alright. I should name this guy. Yeah, I haven't named him. Maybe I should name him. Maybe you guys could tell me the name. And yeah, so coming over here, I need to collect some seeds. And of course, flower farms, always good for producing seeds as well. So we should be getting a whole lot of seeds around here. If you haven't seen this area for a little while, this is what it looks like. I don't think I've worked on this area a little bit. Maybe I have a little bit in between episodes. I think this area here maybe is a little bit different. I kind of created like a little pathway that comes up a little bit. And put this little guy in here. But yeah, I haven't really put anything else up here. I saw a suggestion for putting in a waterfall or some kind of water feature just around here. Maybe we should do that because it's, I guess, kind of like a mansion kind of thing like this. Maybe it needs its own waterfall. But yeah, haven't done that yet. Maybe I'll think about that. So let's cruise around here. Let's see how many seeds I have. I'm not sure if I've just been throwing out the seeds around here. So we've got these. Okay, so, whoa! Okay, I don't want you ruining my day here, buddy. I should always sleep here. I haven't lit up this area too much. I mean, around the buildings themselves, they're pretty lit up. And, yeah, but not really around the surrounding areas. So let's see if we can sneak in a quick nap and escape ourselves from these creeper invasions. Anyone else coming up to creep on me? Wouldn't be the first time I've woken up and had a creeper right on my face, but it looks like we're okay. Let's check out in here. Do I have... Oh, yes. Okay, so I need to get myself probably one of these sugar boxes. I'll load it up with some seeds. I think I've got a spare one back at the main entrance there. Get myself some seeds and then we'll do some planting. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do here for the path design, but I think I'm going to cover this entire open area around here with wheat. So let's get straight into it. So I'm out of seeds and this hoe is almost completely out of durability now. So I should be pretty close to getting the achievement. In fact, yeah, why don't we just do this? It is getting dark, so I'm just going to go through this and hopefully we can get this achievement before it gets too dark. And then I need to run for cover because I'm out here in the middle of nowhere, kind of exposed, and that could all mean dangerous things for the mobs. So what I'm going to do is, yeah, try and get ourselves this achievement, even though I can't plant any seeds right now. Let's just see if we can get this guy. Should be pretty close now. Ah! Ah, don't you love that epic music? So there you go. There is an achievement or an advancement, whichever way we call them these days. And that's pretty cool. So I need to sleep, grab some more resources, and then continue working on in this area. So I made a little bit more progress working on this area, planting some more crops. And for the pathway, I was thinking of some different styles. And one thing that I want to experiment with is having a raised pathway. I think that could be interesting. It could also look terrible, but I'm not sure. This is just an area that I just had started and wanted to continue with. And maybe show you guys some of the building process. So what if we were to have some kind of walkway, and if we were to raise up certain sections, so something like this, and I'll have to think about how we're going to make this curve and do some corners and that kind of thing. But maybe having a raised walkway over the top of the crops could be pretty interesting. And maybe we should... No, that's too high. I could put some slabs on top of that, maybe. Yeah, don't know about that either. So what about this kind of look? Something different? Experimenting with different things here. Putting in some trapdoors. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of this look, but sometimes you just got to experiment with things and just try things out. And I'm not sure what this is going to do to the crops underneath. I'm not sure if I'm letting through enough light to keep these guys alive. So I have to think about lighting as well, but at least with something like this, it's just something a little bit different than the stock standard kind of bridge or elevated walkway kind of pattern that I think most people will come up with. So here's another angle of this path so you can see what it looks like. Maybe you guys could leave a comment. Do you think I should stay with this design, or should I go with a more traditional kind of path along the ground? But I think it's going to look okay. I know it's hard to tell on a small section like this. I did start to mix in some of the oak blocks or oak wood slabs as well into the bridge design. I'm calling it a bridge now, but it's got some kind of elevated pathway. And not sure if I'm sold on that look. I'm sure you guys will tell me in the comments. And I've also put some dark oak slabs on top of these pillars, just to add a little bit more detail as well. And I think as we come with this pathway up to maybe this section over here, where hopefully this is at the same height as this, it's going to be hard to tell until I get there. Maybe I could then not have this path like this kind of bridge slash elevated look continue. Maybe we could just switch out to the traditional path blocks in between the crops, and then as the height goes down again, we can go back to using this kind of look. Maybe that's what we could go with. I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comments if you like this or hate it. But it's certainly something different, and I think sometimes different is good. So I'm going to continue to experiment with this, I think. But as for lighting, this is something I had thought of. And also, it's a bit plain when you look underneath, isn't it? Not sure what I could do about that. If I had all crops underneath here, it would probably look pretty cool. But one good thing about having these pillars is I could probably hide some lights into this. So if I could probably do something like this. I could take out... Oh, I can't click that. Maybe some blocks like this, like every odd one. Not all of them, but maybe some of them. And then I could put down lamps into the base like this. And then we could also let these guys light up. Now, I could probably use daylight sensors somehow, hide it into the background or something. But I think the easiest thing to do is use good old levers. And I think that's what we'll try here. So if I jump down here, there we go. Where's my dirt? Nice. So something like that, where I can light these guys up, and that will help keep this area lit up at night. And I think it could look pretty cool at night time as well, with just the pathway lit up and all the other areas a little bit dark. As you see the glow from the light come off the crops as well as you walk along, and I think that could look pretty interesting. So I'm going to take a break from working on that area, and I'm going to go work on these towers for a little bit. It's a shame my render distance isn't quite big enough where I can see that area from here, but I think it will look cool once we've all got that underway. But this tower here, this is something that I showed you guys a bit of the progress that I had made, and I think this is the kind of color scheme, or block scheme I should call it, that we're going to go with for this tower, and I think it will look pretty good. It should blend in nicely with this other tower, which is, I think, is done. And yeah, I thought, why don't we work on that for a little bit for this end of the episode. So before we do that though, I have to say a huge thank you to another friendly donator. So this is for Thomas. Thank you, Thomas, for donating to the Get Storm a New PC fund. I guess that's what I should call it. And don't worry, mate, your donation is very well appreciated, and hopefully I can get my new PC very soon, because I don't know if you noticed at the start of this episode in that little montage thing that I pulled together, there were certainly a few shots that I recorded there where the frame rate was pretty bad. It was like, yeah, it's definitely less than 15, I think. So I tried to smooth it out as much as I could, but sometimes I can't avoid it. But sometimes working in areas like out in here, where there's not a whole lot of things that are built around here, it's pretty vanilla, my frame rate goes up. So yeah, maybe that's a sign I just need to keep spreading out where I build and work in my world. So I think I'm going to grab myself some blocks here and continue on working on these walls, and hopefully we can get maybe this lower section finished. Then I'll show you guys what it will look like. Uh-oh. Thomas, you sabotaged me. Okay, be honest, who wrote in the comments before this happened that was a bad idea putting that ice block right next to this light source? Yeah, I'm sure someone posted it, but yeah, learn from me. Don't do that, guys. Just don't do that. Tell you what, this epic storm that's going on outside right now, there's been so much lightning. It's been quite a while since I've been playing and I've had that kind of decent lightning rates, which makes me think, I have been hunting for a charged creeper, so what is the chance that there is a charged creeper out there? Already, just waiting to be found. It's possible. I haven't finished working on this lower section. Look how dark the cloud is when it comes through the building like this. It looks like a strange ceiling, but it's just a cloud. And yeah, so maybe we should go hunt for a charged creeper. Maybe I should grab some fire wet rockets and see if we can find one. I was just wondering, using wood blocks in a snowy biome like this, does that mean it can catch on fire? It's something to think about. I'm going to presume it doesn't, because I'm going to guess internally in the game when it snows like this, it still thinks it's raining, and it's just a visual thing that it snows. But yeah, I wonder if lightning does strike some of the wood that I'm using in these structures, if it's actually going to catch on fire and stay alight. So that could be something to look out for. Anyway, so let's just go for a little bit of a cruise. Might as well come around this area, because we're going to have hopefully some spawns. Okay, there's a creeper down there. Charged creepers. Give me a charged creeper. And of course it just stops thundering right now. So I guess, I think that's sunset. So anyway, I think I'll leave it here. Thanks for watching, guys. You can see me fail and build and do different things in this episode. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Alright, thanks guys. Stay awesome. Cheers.